Geez, we're only ready to go before the time.
Yeah, we are. Dan, I was gonna tell you, I gave up on the Twins the other night. I shouldn't have. They ended up winning like 10-8 or something. I was like, my goodness.
Did you leave the game early last week?
We did not. Terry and I stayed to the bitter end. We stayed for.
I lost 8-0 or something.
It was pretty bad. 6-1.
10-1.
It was. Oh,
It's all about the atmosphere.
yeah. Yep.
Going to watch them win, you're foolish.
Yeah. It was. Nobody
Just a
wanted
bonus,
to catch
right?
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to catch a foul ball. It hit everybody in the hands and dropped right to the ground.
Where'd you sit?
Up
Up in the
lower level, just to the left of home plate. Yeah.
last few games.
I love it. Yeah.
Throw it back in the pile.
I've been way up top before.
Take it
Behind
from
home
this
plate
pile.
all the way up to the back. Been out in the home run course.
I put one thing I'll do is not in my yard in the morning.
Goes away.
Just go to look and sure where it was.
No, yeah, it's pretty much three, huh? No. No.
This if they can't find what we paid, then it's really bad. It's only, usually it's 120,000 a year. This one's really expensive. The claims this month are high.
Really?
We paid it.
With the payout.
Yeah, we paid a loan off.
Yeah. My library notes. Children's authors, the 1st of July, 21st is game night. Oh, yeah. Je look, geez. I put that too.
They like it.
Well, I said, Brian, they come.
Okay.
Ralph came in today and apologized for waking you guys up on your nap.
It's also a cab for,
Mom told me not to wake you up.
you got small waters.
No, we would have never seen each other. I know. Time smart.
He's ready.
Good, Steve.
Yeah.
All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Is anybody here for public forum? Dan T. You're up.
Dan is up.
State your name, date of birth, social security number.
Does this work? Does this work?
Mother's maiden name.
I'm sorry, everybody's not here, that we're missing one of the council members, so you'll have to let them know I was here. My name is Dan Tiffenbacher. I live in Harmony. I'm currently celebrating my 25th year. And on Sunday, June 20th, I began to notice a number of couches, end tables, old lawn furniture beginning to show up by the curbs, homes in town. On Tuesday, the 22nd, I contributed my own sofa bed, chair, window air conditioner, and a 150-pound portable dishwasher, as well as a few other items to my curb as well. That night, a few items disappeared from the curb, and then around 8 a.m., a truck with a large trailer pulled up and took away the dishwasher. Around 9 a.m., a large white garbage truck stopped in front of the house, and two gentlemen got out and quickly removed the remaining items. The next day, I drove around town and I noticed how clean and neat the area had become. So today, I have come to the council meeting to thank the council and let you know that you picked a great group to do the cleanup. And I hope I don't have to wait another 25 years for the next one. And that's it.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Well, thank you for your
Thank
comments.
you.
That's, it's good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to add to that. I've had many calls thanking council for allowing the city to do this. A lot of people are very happy with that program.
Good. I've had a few people comment that, why is everybody paying for a few people to get rid of stuff? But it got very few comments like that, so.
Yeah. Yep.
Dad said you can't make them all happy, so just make me happy. Is what he said. All right. Consent agenda? Is there a motion for that?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda. I'll second it.
Motion by Grabo, second by Weber. Any discussion? I was wondering on the Stantec Consulting, the 2020 street improvements is mentioned, or it's got 3 different listings. Does that mean there's 3 different invoices there for?
Probably, yes.
You're talking about the 5,600.
Yep,
1100.
56, 2150, and then 7,400. So they just bill separately for different.
Yeah, it was multiple bills that came in, invoices that came in from them.
And is the 5,700 Darrellin utility expansion, that's not the new business tonight, is it?
No. That was the cost through April that they've done on the project.
Okay.
And that was coming out of the EDA fund, I believe, right? On that one?
General.
General. Okay.
Yep. And the ambulance fund for Elan Financial says promotions. Is that the,
That's our,
The-
Band-Aids are thousands.
Oh,
our
yeah.
Community outreach things will be. just
Oh,
talked about in
okay.
our meeting.
I didn't know that came from Elan Financial.
Well, we had to pay for it on the credit card. But it was
Aha.
part of the promotions, we actually got the Band-Aids today, a whole box of 250 Band-Aids dispensers for the community outreach, so.
And that's being reimbursed.
It's being reimbursed by the ambulance, yes. Yep, because we had received, I did some special. training.
Yeah, that's coming right out of the
Received
fund.
a
Perfect.
funds for that, yeah.
All right, no one has anything else. We'll call for a vote on the consent agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, we'll go to the electric service agreement.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Kent Wick, My Energy Electric Cooperative, and just here to talk a little bit, kind of some highlights on that third amendment. That third amendment's to the electrical service agreement that you currently have with My Energy. Just a couple of the main points on is we're looking to upgrade that from Tri-County to say My Energy. So that was one of the purposes. And the other main reason for it is to get rid of the third-party transmission cost on there through Dairyland. So that was something that kind of came in the works here. Dairyland has changed kind of a policy there where they started to waive that third-party transmission cost for all new service agreements that were signed. So we saw this as an opportunity then to go to them and what about all the existing service agreements we have out there with our wholesale cities? And they reviewed that, and then that was an opportunity where they were going to waive that third-party transmission cost as well. Their requirements was just that we got an amendment to the service agreement. So I don't know if you guys have any additional questions on that.
I don't think I do. No one else have anything?
No.
So we just do a motion to approve the new agreement,
I'll make the motion.
amendment to the agreement.
Second.
Motion by Grabo. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Well, thank you very much, Ken.
Yep, thank you, Mayor. And I left 3 copies there, so if you
Okay.
get those signed, then I'll get that, get it mailed off, then I'll get the copies returned to you guys.
Good, sounds good, thank you.
I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Can you have someone come to you and say, oh, we're gonna lower some rates?
Lower some
Potentially.
premiums. We'll take
It was upwards of almost $10,000 a year in savings, so
Nice.
it's substantial savings.
Good, good. Well, we can do the write-off of bad debts.
Yeah, staff has been working very hard at figuring out what the billing agency has missed the last 2 years. Sam and Eileen can talk about a little bit more what we're trying to do tonight. We're trying to write off uncollectible debts that we can no longer, well, uncollectible as we can no longer collect on them. So tonight we're just looking to write those off our book to make the financial piece a little more manageable and easy to do.
We don't have a list of those, do we?
Yeah, you do.
Yep, right here.
It totals about $23,000 of uncollectible debts.
What I've learned going through this, working with, we have a new financial representative, basically, billing person at Expert T. And since I've started, I've asked them to do resubmissions and appeals to different various insurance agencies, et cetera. What we found is that in 2019, between September and December, there's been about $11,000 that was never billed. And it kind of narrowed down to one person that was doing, a couple of those people doing our billing of that. So about half of this is just what was never billed, and it's what outside the insurance guidelines of what, so we can't even
Ask.
appeal, and we can't even ask.
Yep.
The other portions are people who've passed away, estates that have paid, and revenue recapture debt that we have tried to submit for, and it's outside the statute of limitations for collections any further, so. Kind of the background of that. We're trying to clean it up a little bit, so it's a little bit easier to monthly to manage and make sure that our returns are balanced.
Yeah, it looks like there's a number of them from
There's,
late 2019
yeah.
and
There are, unfortunately.
Mhm.
Some of the revenue recapture ones that we do have to write off, a couple of them on that list, they're out of the area. Revenue recapture only works for people who pay taxes in Minnesota. So if they live in Michigan, Texas, Iowa, Wisconsin, anywhere else, they don't pay Minnesota taxes, we can't go after them.
Sure.
And some of them, as Lano in this completely invalid information. So there's just no recourse there. We've got a much better process in place hopefully now to,
See any on here you want to go after, Greg? There are no names.
no,
Well, yeah, part of that was worried about the whole HIPAA thing, so we just
Right.
used call.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
6 years is statute of limitations on debts generally.
yeah.
If insurance isn't paying, you can still go after them first, I presume.
You
But
you can, but so with our billing, at the time of the ambulance call, not necessarily do we all have, I mean, depending on the nature of the call, we don't always have their billing information. So there is a form that is sent out for the patient to fill out for billing information. And if they don't fill it out, then yes, but if they do fill it out and then there's a failure on the billing agency side to bill their insurance, the question was, how do we go after, you know, how do we go after them personally if it was a failure on the billing side, so.
So the Medicare billing time limit expired.
Yep.
That's our billing company, and they're aware of that. and
Yeah.
they-
Very aware, yeah. There was an internal audit,
Hmm.
Sparks, and we are not the only one, we're about 5 or 6, I think we were one of like 5 or 6.
Yeah, there was many angry cities across the state with them.
So, but they're newly acquired by a different billing agency up in Holding. So hopefully we will
Get better.
get better, yeah.
All right. Anybody want to make a motion for resolution 21-12?
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 21-12.
I'll second. Any discussion?
I just want to say, Lee and Sam worked extremely hard on this to get this where to this point. They've been, I know Sam's been going after people left and right trying to get information, and they've worked hard on it.
No, I know it's part of the industry, so. All right, hearing no more discussion, we'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Are the next three all for Brett?
Brett's here for all three of those.
Oh, there you are. Didn't even see you walk in.
First one's a pay request for the 2020 street project.
Yep.
I have pay request number 6 in front of you. That pays out everything to date and reduces the retainage down to 1%. What was missing prior to us putting this pay request together to get in your council packets were the televised and tapes for the sanitary sewer. We now have those. I'll inspect those. Then I'll come back in August here with a final pay request to close this project out. Pay out the final retainage. There are some very minor issues with some restoration. The summer hasn't been the greatest, and I would not recommend that we try to tackle them right now, but I will put a warranty document that the contractor will have to sign. Obviously, they're held on warranty anyways for the project. But what I'll request that they do is do some overseeding and some fertilizing this fall to get those couple patches cleared up. Other than that, I did go through the project corridor today, and it's looking nice. It filled in nice. Obviously, bluegrass takes just a little bit to fill completely in, but most yards are looking pretty good. Any questions or concerns on the pay request?
I did a
some walking around today, took 2 pictures.
I got it.
I'll share it with folks. There's some pictures from months ago, pictures from today. Mrs. May, and I said there's a lot still to be done on some reconstruction. I didn't want to do all of the street projects, I just spent most of my time on Portage. I want to spend half a day out there wandering around.
So these things aren't cleared up yet, you mean?
That picture's from today.
This one?
Yep.
Oh.
You drive by that one every day.
Mm-hmm. So are these kinds of things they're still gonna go through and look at?
Well, yeah, we'll go through any restoration issues this fall yet, but I honestly, I can't tell where these are. With black and white photos, I can't exactly tell what we're pointing out here.
Here, Brett, here's the color one if you want.
It looks like a couple of them just need some fill of some sort. But
That's what it looks like. It's
A lot
that
of
street.
people settled over there.
I mean, that's just,
yeah, any one of our street guys could grab
Mine
that.
looks like that all the time.
The watershed out there, trees are too tall, can't pull over them.
Need another inch of that curb picture, it looks like needs another inch of
A
dirt.
little deceiving, it's a little more so than the.
but yeah, Brett, you said that's what they're gonna do. Are you saying they're gonna bring dirt too, or?
Yeah, we'll finalize any restoration issues. It doesn't do any good to attack anything in the last month.
Right, 'cause
Even
we're not
people who never have had weeds have thistles and weeds right now. If you drive through the corridor, you will notice yards that look great. Typically, if you look beyond where the construction limits are, those yards look great. If you drive through the construction and you see some yards that don't look so great, sometimes the beyond where our construction limits don't look great. A lot of it has to do with maintenance and how you treat your yard. It does this absolutely no good to go and try to topsoil and seed and fertilize or anything right now. So that is something that will be taken care of this fall. The one thing that I do see in here that was missed is the catch basin in that protection bag needs to be pulled. Other than that, I'm down with the 2-pound maul and the gate valves turned down with a wrench. There isn't much here that can't be taken care of by 2 guys in a half a day.
Mhm. And so the plan is we hold back that 1% retainage till fall, right? Or longer than that.
Yeah, we can hold back 1% retainage till fall, or we could, I guess it depends on whether the council believes that we should be holding $16,000 against the contractor for what's shown here or what's out there. The contractor is under warranty regardless. Now that warranty covers all of the work that they did. Typically, that would be for defects as far as pavement settlements, curb settlements, pipe, stuff like that. But yeah, it does cover the restoration. So the question is, do we feel that we need to hold 1%, which is over $16,000 in this case for what's shown here? And I'd be happy to walk the whole project corridor with staff or 1 or 2 members of council to actually walk through it so you had a better understanding of what the corridor looks like today too, prior to our August meeting.
I thought that was supposed to take place already.
If the council would like me to address the residents, I guess I will.
Yeah, well, no, I understand. It's a continuing process. I mean, it's, if you have a summer like this, you're not gonna get grass to grow where it's not growing anywhere else. Established stuff is in, a lot of it's gone dormant, so.
I'm confident that the restoration is gonna turn out great.
Jesse, want to walk around?
What's that?
He's asking Jesse if you want to walk around.
Well, I think we got city staff that can handle it.
Yeah.
Right?
It's up to you guys. We're also gonna have the contractor in town this fall.
Yep.
Maybe we should wait and walk it with the contractor as well.
That'd work.
Definitely.
But I would invite, I mean, staff, I'm sure that Brian will walk it. I'm sure Devin would walk it if we asked him. It would not be a bad idea for one or two council members to be part of that too.
I'll walk it.
I guess I would like to see the, you know, if we've got something out in the yard that a lawnmower could hit, that should either get some fill in it right away or else be screwed down or whatever you said.
Yep.
You say, like these they can be lowered, or do you bring the dirt up?
They work within a sleeve. They can be pounded down with a 2-pound pump.
Okay. Other than that, yeah, I think it's a lot easier to get stuff growing in the cooler weather.
Has staff had any calls or concerns from residents actually located within the corridor?
Just the few calls that I gave you about restoration, and it's been the same conversation I've had with everyone that come fall is when the real restoration is going to happen again, because you can't really do, as we all know, you can't seed and that stuff in the summer.
I think we all understand how bluegrass works too. I mean, you seed it, you'd love to see it 100% coverage, but what happens is bluegrass roots actually spread and fill as it grows. So if you see a lawn that has a good bluegrass take but is patchy, we will have the contractor overseed it and fertilize it, but it also will fill in.
And any major complaints that I've had, I've always directed towards Brett too, in the project.
Yep, I guess I'm good, good with the pay request as is, because like I said, we have the warranty yet, so we can hold them to getting it finished up. I'd make a motion to do the final pay request.
Second it.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion?
It's not the final pay request, it's pay request.
Not the
6.
final, the current pay request. Hearing no further discussion, we'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Then we got the Darrellin change order.
Yeah, so just an update on that, the Darrellin Power project. We got the contracts back from the contractor and their bonding company today. Those have been forwarded on to Greg for,
Not yet. I was going to give them tonight.
those are going to be forwarded on for Greg for his review. Because we got them today and because we don't have another meeting for a month, what I would ask is that the council consider approving and signing the contracts pending Greg's review and recommendation. It's the contract that we put together. They simply get sent to the bonding company. The bonding company has to produce bonds in accordance with the contract. That's what Greg's going to check. Other than that, we've awarded the project to the contractor. We just haven't executed the contracts. And if we wait a month, we just push everything a month. So if the council is comfortable with that, that's what I would recommend.
So a motion to approve the change order.
Not the change order, but to authorize the execution of the contracts pending Greg's review.
Okay,
I make a motion to approve the contract pending Attorney Schieber's review.
I'll second it.
any discussion? Hearing none, call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
The next item is the change order. The contractor provided the change order pricing. At our last council meeting, we talked about changing approximately 240 feet of directional drilling that was to be done adjacent to
Bill and Roxanne.
Bill and Roxanne's house on the north side of Casad 22. We're gonna have to drill on site. We have to drill underneath Trunk Highway 52. I thought it would be nice to simply drill through their property until we get to the rural sections of the ditch. HDPE pricing and drilling work has skyrocketed. We saw that in the bid. I asked the council for authority, I guess, to pursue a change order with the contractor to revise that from a drilled portion, that 240 feet, into an open cut trench portion. The contractor provided a change order pricing that would credit the city $50,600. So the original contract is $563,323.75. If the city decides to execute this change order, that price would drop to $512,723.75. That includes not only changing the pipe out from a 14-inch OD HDPE to a 12-inch C900 DR18, which is the equivalent. It's the same internal diameter. It's the same volume. It's the same everything. It would change that pipe out, but that also includes all the restoration that would be added on. This 240 feet adjacent to Bill and Roxanne's, the restoration of their bituminous driveway. We would have to open cut through all that stuff. So that's all in change of $50,600.
Good. Well, I would make a motion to approve the change order.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Was that different than what we approved before?
You guys approved me to pursue a change order
Pursue
with the
it, yeah.
contractor. Now that we have the final pricing,
Yeah.
you know, it's a savings of $50,000, $600. So now it's approving the actual change order.
Okay.
I also recommend final payment to the contractor for the splash pad utility improvements. Generation X installed the grinder pump, sanitary sewer service, the water service, and the 6-inch storm drain, as well as did some site grading up there for us. Now that the roadway has been, curb and gutter has been replaced where they had to cut into the utilities and the roadway's been patched, I recommend payment of the balance of their quote for that work.
I'll make a motion that we make a final payment for the splash pad.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second to make the final payment for the splash pad infrastructure completed to date. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Now I guess we can double back to the Dairyland Power.
Yep.
Okay.
Property owner issue. At our last council meeting, we discussed the fact that Minowa Construction's shops gravity feed into a sanitary sewer that is too shallow and is planned to be abandoned. How we've accounted for that within the design is to directional drill them a 1.75-inch low pressure service line, and we ask in return that they install their own grinder pump on their private property to connect into that. That would then feed their sanitary sewer for the parcel. We would also eliminate that sanitary sewer that runs through that curve on Wicket Drive in front of their parcel and eliminate issues that the city's been having for years. This issue up there with the sanitary sewer and the freezing is nothing new. It's something that I've been working on with staff and previous staff for many years. This Dairyland project affords us the opportunity to actually fix that issue. We have asked, we tried to get in contact and have discussions with Minowa Construction. Those discussions broke down. They have not returned any correspondence since. At the last meeting, you guys directed the city attorney to send a letter to them, asking them to respond by August 1st, just to try to start discussions again on this issue. They responded this week.
Mhm.
I believe you guys have a copy of that letter in your packets.
There you go.
It was emailed to you.
Oh, yeah, we got it on email.
Yeah.
Essentially, they have the same stance they had when we met with their shop foreman previously. And so now I'm asking the council, and the staff is asking the council how you would like us to proceed. Greg has put together a letter in response to that. We could either send that letter back out, responding to their response, or we could try and actually get the owners of the parent company of Minowa to sit down at a table and actually discuss this issue. To me, it doesn't feel like they quite, maybe they grasp it and they're just being stubborn. Maybe they don't know, because I haven't had a chance to actually talk to them. So the question is, if you want us to send the letter as the city attorney prepared, if you'd like that letter revised in any way, or if you would like us to hold that letter and try to actually make contact with them and set up a meeting. The letter does ask for us to sit down before we have to push this any farther.
They, you can't know what someone's thinking when they won't talk to you, but we've been open to having a discussion with them, and all we get was a letter from their attorney. So the one thing I was thinking was, they have an office just down the street, and perhaps they're just thinking, if the city will put everything in for them, then they'd keep that sewer, but maybe they're okay with just not having water and sewer in that building.
I don't think they're okay with that. I would assume that they're not okay with that. I also, we have the option of abandoning that sewer in Wicket Drive as a city-owned sewer and turning it over as a private service, saying it's no longer a trunk sewer. The city has no responsibility over it. You want to continue to feed into a 2.5-foot deep sanitary sewer main that freezes every year. They then call their plumber, recognize that it's on the city end. City defrosts that sewer, and then they try to bill back the city for their expense of calling their plumber in the first place. It's been a cycle for years, and it just needs to stop. I can't believe that if we can't get the right people to sit down at a table and discuss it, that we can't figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
I think our best option is gonna be the letter part,
Yeah.
because they've actually responded to them.
I think a letter.
Because you guys have tried calling numerous times and never got hold of anybody, and they finally.
We've tried to call. We have gotten a hold of them, but then they've stopped returning calls. I invited them to the city council meeting, not the last special meeting, but the meeting previous that no one showed up to.
I think we should stay on our same track,
Mhm.
send them a letter, and, I think we gave them until September, didn't we?
We gave them till August 1st to respond to the letter.
To respond, but then to do the work was.
Do the work was like September, wasn't it?
I don't think we've communicated that with them yet.
Yeah, we talked about having a couple months after that date, but we didn't communicate anything to that. Yeah, we're
I
just
think we need
just
to
trying
add
to get a
that.
response first.
I think we need to add that to the letter if it's not already in there.
September, is that what you said?
I believe so.
Yeah,
Whenever our part of the project was done, they have to have that done, I believe. Am I wrong?
Yeah. The thing is, they can't do it too early because they don't have sewer to go into, and they can't do it too late because we want to get the thing done. I think the completion date for our project is September 15th-ish.
That would have to be done in conjunction with the city.
So I think we need to, whatever the substantial, that would be the date we would use in the letter and tell them with city staff and the contracted.
Yep.
The awarded contractor.
I'm good with that.
And hope they either do it or come back to actually have a discussion.
But this seems like they actually responded to our letter, and I think that's the route to go.
And it seems like the attorney got poor information from whoever he got it from.
Yeah, I can't tell from the little bit of correspondence that we've been able to get back whether they understand and are, I guess, understand and don't care, or whether they don't understand. I don't know.
Good, so the consensus is we'll just have the
Okay.
letter sent again and wait to hear from them.
Anything else for me? I think that was it.
That's all.
I think that should do it.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, should we go right to the wastewater treatment plant?
Yep, just a heads up on that. We're spending a lot of money on tablets with all the rain, so there's gonna be a little higher bill than usual on that for tablets. And then the good news the last month is Brian Michael passed his C-level wastewater licensure, so we have Perry both now have their C. So congratulations to Brian.
Mhm. That's all you have for that?
That's all I had for that.
EDA, I think we have the minutes in there.
I will say the biggest thing there is there's a few parties interested in lots in the industrial park. So there is potential for some growth here in the next few months for some new projects. That was kind of the big part of that whole meeting was that. And I will say right now too, with EDA and the city, there's city block grant coming out that will be asking for people to fill out a survey. We're trying to get as many people that can fill a survey as possible. That way we have a better chance of getting this grant. The grant will be used for residential. The residential is income restrictive. There is one for people who have rentals. There's some caveats to the rental things too. And then there's also a commercial piece too that's tied to it. These are all grants. They're potentially forgivable if you don't sell your place. And I think was it 10 years, I believe is what it was. But look for that survey coming out for people in the community. And please respond to the survey too. That way we get more information for that and see that there is indeed a need for that program.
All right. Thank you for that. Park board, splash pad update.
So I'll touch on the splash pad update. We got some notes back from the state of things we need to correct in the plan submittal. We selected the vendor for the plumbing, which is going to be a combination of Kingsley's and Canton Plumbing for that. We're still waiting for their final drawings for that to submit to the state too for the plumbing side. So there's a few corrections for the Minnesota Department of Health needs for splash pads. And then there's a piece that the plumbing needs too. So they're still kind of jumping through hoops with the state on that. And then from there, we would need to start ordering the equipment. would be the next step. Once we have all the numbers, it's hard to say what money we have for equipment yet, because without the plumbing piece, I don't have the final financials of what everything is going to cost. That's kind of the big missing piece. This whole project still is, what's the plumbing going to cost for it?
Do you have any idea when Kingsley's and Canton Plumbing and Heating may submit those plans?
I'm hoping here this week or next week, and then if need be, we can get potentially a quick special meeting together to get stuff ordered, and hopefully get that project done. Hopefully sometime September, August, if it's October, if indeed possible.
The Department of Health wanted something that we need to get from Rain Deck too, as far as the drawings.
Yes, there are a few things there too, that the plans that we asked for from Rain Deck were not complete. So I'm trying to get back to them too and get some of the stuff that there was missing from the plans. One of the things was simple. It's just, I need an overhead picture showing where the bathroom and the drinking fountain is. So that one's real simple, easy to do. Rest of them are kind of beyond my knowledge. So I'm leaning on other people to help get those things done.
Do you want a conditioned go-ahead on some equipment based on, what the plumbing bid comes in? Then we'll have an idea of, we'll have.
It could just be
At
simple
least
as not to
1,000 or
exceed
at
the
least
donated
30.
money.
Right, not to exceed donated money.
It could be some of that. I mean,
That's a good idea.
if that's the case, then we don't, that way we won't exceed what we have available.
Right.
The only problem I see with that is we have donated money and then we got a half done project because we ran out of money.
Right.
I think we need that all-in number, that total bid, before we do anything related to approving any purchases. And we can't do that until we get the plumbing bid. I mean, the plumbing bid is the most crucial part of this whole project right now. We know what the cost of the equipment is from Rain Deck, as long as that cost hasn't went up. We don't know what the plumbing bid is.
And we don't know what the cement's gonna be.
That one I have a very good idea for that one.
Does that include the fill? I mean, Brett's talked about we need so much fill with the plumbing and stuff, and I'm afraid that one's going to be just the concrete at $16,000.
And I'll double back with another contractor on that one, so we can get information on that.
And the pump for the water.
That would be a bid for, I would have to get that piece from Rain Deck to see how much that would cost, or if indeed Canton or Kingsley's can find that pump to increase the water pressure. And there's also a backflow preventer that we need too, that was not in the plans. Any splash pad, if water coming in, it needs a backflow preventer from the water coming in. So that's not a backflow preventer for the sewer, which we no longer have, is for the water line. So that was not in the plans, and that's one of the things that needs to be shown on the plans is that.
So to me, there's a lot of numbers that we need before we.
Because all these numbers do increase the project cost, unexpectedly increase the cost.
Well, I still think, once he has the numbers, right?
Once he has the
Then-
numbers and we know where we're at with the budget or the donations, then we can
Right.
move forward with it.
Yeah. So if he gets all the numbers in, and let's say it's 70,000, then, and we have 100, then that would leave 30 for equipment. If it all comes in at 90,
But you have
That
to
means
install
we
that, I'm guessing you have to install that Rain Deck equipment before we pour cement and when they do the plumbing.
It'd be,
So there's a whole bunch
some of it would be in
different-
conjunction too.
Right.
I will say that, he was nice enough to help me become project manager a little bit too, once we finally have our vendors working together. Because that's, once again, I'm not a project manager, so it's grateful that someone in the community offered to help their time too, to help me do that piece.
but I mean, I think that's the fudge factor we have is the features that go on top of the concrete.
Yeah, I agree
All
with that
that
part
is,
of it.
all that is, there's going to be some money.
That, correct me if I'm wrong, Steve, the plans or the what the splash pad committee is looking at purchasing initially is just the stuff and that one feature, correct?
Right.
So that's $20,000, I think is what the quote is from Rain Deck currently. But if, and that's what,
Still have to put initial
right.
things in the concrete to add the pieces as you go along.
And see, that's my fear is we don't have the money. And so we order that, that's fine, but we still get the rest of it. So we sit on these parts for,
I'm not opposed to what you're saying.
Right.
Because that's just the smart way to go.
right.
Know what you're getting before you.
That's
know
my,
where you're at before you-
Absolutely. Devil's advocate,
I don't think
we
it's gonna.
wait,
uh,
and then it just goes on to next year if they're
you
out.
have
I mean,
what
not
was
gonna
that?
blame COVID, I'm just saying, if we were to wait, then is there a chance that it would?
I think we can talk to the vendors as we move forward. I don't know where Rain Deck is. How far is Rain Deck out? I
Six
don't know.
to 6 to 8 last I talked to them.
16.
They said 6 to 8, potentially to 10.
Well, and we haven't got final approval from the state. I mean,
Yeah.
there's that other hang up there. We need that.
After you get your plumbing plan approved and your engineering plan approved, I don't see.
Right.
you can-
Yeah, but that's just what I'm saying, once that comes in, then
Once that comes
do we
in,
have to sit down and have another meeting, or wait a month after all that to have a meeting to then approve to even order the equipment?
I think
And then you gotta sit and wait for
I
2 months
think-
to wait for the equipment.
I think
there
we should be really close in a month, don't you? I would think, to where we have the all-in number. I don't know what your feeling is, Steve. Waiting another month or,
I, to tell you the truth, if it happens this year, I'd be surprised.
I mean, we're working, I mean, we're working as,
That's me.
and I,
There's somebody else you wouldn't want to talk to.
right? I know that.
yeah, part of the piece is we've run into more obstacles than we originally planned that anyone ever thought that was involved in this project.
Yeah.
So we've been trying our best to work through all these little problems that we had no idea even existed. Yep.
And unfortunately, the splash pad committee didn't dig deep enough. Myself included, I never dreamt of it.
Well, if
Still got
stuff
work
comes
to do
in
to
quick
get
enough, we
involved
can
in.
call a
Right.
special.
Yeah.
we can call
Yep.
a special
Should've
meeting.
known,
Yep.
I didn't.
I think
Right. And I think that was the learning curve for everybody is that.
Yeah, because they're involved in everything else.
You open to that, if we get these numbers in pretty quickly, then we could have a special meeting to approve ordering.
See where we're at,
We need the,
I mean, if it's a week before
Week before the regular meeting.
We have an early October, we have an early August meeting, I recall. Or the
Yes.
9th, the 9th. So it's an early August meeting too.
So.
Yep.
If it comes in the next couple of weeks and we can do it, then fine. If it is a week before, I don't see holding a special meeting for that.
That was kind of the splash pad update where we're at. It's
Good. What'd you have on the trails?
that's something that,
A new trail?
No. That's something that's been brought to my attention from many people in the community that the stretch from Preston to Harmony is kind of getting deteriorated, worn down. Some spots need bad repairs. So, which I know you reached out to me about
We
this.
want good repairs.
We want the repairs done right. Part of it was creating kind of like get involved all the organizations to write letters to the DNR to say, look, here are the issues with the trail. Can you please fix them? Maybe someone's got to go take pictures of the trail, but if it's hurting people that are the tourism bikers, that's not good for the whole area. I haven't ridden the trail, so I can't speak on behalf of it, but maybe someone here can too.
I haven't rode it this year yet, but last year when I rode it, there's stretches from Harmony to County Road 16 that are so bad you're gonna break your bike.
At any speed, yeah.
It's kind of unrideable as far as I'm concerned.
Is that what you want, Kevin?
And
Pictures?
there was some public comment out there that said they thought the understanding was the DNR, the city would pay half. And it's like, no, the DNR takes care of
Yeah.
trail maintenance.
Yeah.
But we could definitely write a letter.
I think as a city, we should send a letter.
And I would say if any citizens want to write letters too, please do. Any businesses, please do. I feel the more attention that can be drawn to this, even if we can send it to any of our representatives or state or local senators too, just bring more attention to it. That the more people that see these letters, hopefully something can be done sooner.
We did run into that when we talked about the new trail. The DNR was in talking to us, the extension. And they said, oh, everybody's all about, and the legislature is all about funding new trails, but they don't give the city money to take care of what we already got. But they'll build more miles. So
We'll reach out to some of the Trail City communities too and have them see if they can. But someone needs to kind of spearhead this thing, and if it's us, it's us. But it's something that needs to be done, especially if it's decrease the amount of bikers from coming here to ride the trails.
And it's bad. I mean, like I said, I haven't rode it this year, but when I rode it last year, there's from here to County 16 is really bad.
So just my 2 cents. Preston, from what I heard, but COVID kind of got in the way. Preston to County 16, it's really bad. There's a lot of bridges. But the approaches, the asphalt is gone, and that was gone 2 years ago, and there's 6-inch lips. So it settled there. It was slated to be replaced. I thought I had heard that, but with COVID and everything, and just it didn't get done. So maybe I don't know if anyone at the Preston would maybe know what the status is and in the stretch, because they kind of use it all as one. And I know that the Lanesboro stretch, I think between Preston and Lanesboro, I think there are a couple of bridges that they've taken out there too. Those took a little bit longer, but there are quite a few.
didn't Melissa
treasure
say
spots out there.
at the EDA meeting that Trail Towns is planning on requesting?
I think they're talking about it as a group
Yeah.
already at that level.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so they'd be good ones for,
But yeah, if the city of Harmony were to send something on behalf of the city, maybe it would help to have the city of Preston do the
Yeah,
same exact thing.
that's exactly what I was going to talk to Joe over there.
so, and Joe might have an update too on their stretch of trail too.
They also have a new DNR Trails director too, because the last one just resigned last, I think, November. So
Who would like to do the letter from the city of Harmony? Would Greg like to work with Devin on that?
I would say that's a good idea. My forte is not exactly letter writing. I like to write in bullet points, so that might not be the greatest.
That's why I included Greg, because he's
Yeah, I can
Good on
draft one.
trail info also.
And then the second part to the trails thing is, I forgot the date at the top of my head. There's gonna be an open house for the new trail that's going to be from Harmony to Niagara Cave,
Yep.
basically.
August 12th, 5 to 7.
So
I don't think it's confirmed yet, but that's the date and time they're
Okay.
aiming for.
Okay.
And so the significance of that is if people can come and provide any input they have, good or bad or indifferent. And I think one of the main points we hope to convey.
It's focused on the extension,
Right,
not
the
on,
extension, yeah.
hopefully we can get this maintenance for the existing trail to the right area of the DNR and not have a bunch of people come in and beat up the trail extension people.
yeah, this is for input on the new trail extension.
I think one of the points I know those of us who have worked on the trail more specifically hope to convey is to reiterate that we would like to see them do the entire corridor. There has been talk amongst the DNR about skipping the little spur that would actually connect it to the Iowa border and only doing the stretch to the cave. We see that as a detriment because it's a really small section. And because Harvest Farm Campground is just a mile or so south, that's a huge opportunity for those people that bike up from the campground, get on the trail system.
And it would go to a road.
Right. It would go to a road and then it gives Iowa a real
Yep.
destination to get their act together to meet up and go there. If it's not, that little quarter-mile stretch isn't done.
Right.
Yeah.
It defeats that whole point that we made throughout lobbying for this, that we want to connect to Iowa. So
And the DNR people that talked about it said, they would engineer it or have the plan for it. They just wouldn't build it and pave it.
right.
But-
And I don't want
because
to see
they-
us in a position of having to spend 3 or 4 or 5 years lobbying for them to come back
Yep.
just
Yep.
to do a quarter mile.
Mhm.
It wouldn't be worth, it'd be difficult. So
And that's what was approved under the legislation
Right.
and everything else is to do that. Good.
I don't think so. I think we're looking into maybe resurfacing the tennis court yet. I'm trying to get some numbers and then, oh,
Electric
yes,
at Selvig.
Selvig Park Electrical.
Yeah.
We're gonna reach out to the Legion and somebody else. We got a quote for doing that. Of course, there's some directional boring in there, which we all know is expensive.
Reach out to the Legion for.
See what, yeah,
Because they're talked about redoing
Doing the.
their part, so,
Memorial
yeah,
they want power there.
and they want some power, so we thought maybe it'd be a time to reach out.
And
see
the
if-
community foundation about their winter festival there too, because they'll be the ones using the.
Mhm.
So it's electrical to plug in the Christmas tree lights. So we don't have cords.
And lights for the flags that will be out there too. So those are the two big projects that the park board will be looking at for the rest of the year.
Yeah, community fund would be a good source too. Library board?
We purchased a nice umbrella. Yeah. Read under the shade, I guess, at the patio, on the patio out there. We had our first game night weeks ago. That was fun. Went up there and they had pop, cookies, bring the family out, bring kids. Mason enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed it a little more, but they're having another one July 21st from 4 to 6. Yard games, snacks. And then July 31st, we have a Decorah author coming to speak at 10 a.m. at the library. So what's going on there?
What was the date of that? August 10th?
July 31st is the author and July 21st is game night.
July 20th.
That's it.
Next week.
Do you have anything for the fire department?
We're getting our stuff. The truck is still, seems to be on schedule for mid-August. We did put both electric, battery-operated tools, like extrication tools into last night. And we're starting to utilize some of the equipment that's come in. Equipment's coming in slowly but surely, and we're getting there.
Nice.
Good. I know on the fun side of things, the crew that did the fireworks is talking about going all electric next year, so we might want to at some point talk to League, because I think each year we pay a little extra for work comp for the
Okay,
setting them off.
let's just decrease that a little bit.
It should decrease the chance of injury quite a bit.
Yes.
Because
The-
nobody's standing.
The
there with a
firefighter,
torch
the
next to
firefighter
them.
piece of workman's comp is the highest, so.
So yeah, the relief donated what should be hopefully enough to cover going full electronic. Authorize that donation to the city. So
Yes, so that was that $5,000 donation I gave you tonight. Did we have a sheriff report in there?
No, there was no sheriff report.
Anybody else have anything for our meeting?
A few quick things. Department should be getting their budgets, preliminary things done this month. I should have a preliminary budget done sometime in August, and then the preliminary budget will be approved by council in September. So we're hoping to get all that nailed down here quickly. They should have the wage and comp study done either the end of July or the first week in August, somewhere in that time frame. So we're winding that down here quickly too.
Do you send department heads like last year's budget?
Yes, so they can see what they had in 20 and 21. And then I've kind of talked to park board already. We'll do that one. Library, we present it to the library board. I'll sit down with the public works people to go over their budget if there's any big purchases that they might need in the next year or two. And then from there, yeah, that's where we'll be at.
Good.
I was gonna mention too that we had our ambulance state inspection in June, and that went well.
All right. If no one has anything else, we're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.